Welcome to another episode of the Online Prosperity Experience podcast. You're about to hear your host, Prosper Taravinga's powerful digital marketing strategies and actionable tactics that you can use right now. Prosper has helped more than 50,000 people from over 10 countries to create meaningful businesses that are profitable and enjoyable. Listen to this podcast so that you too can build your own business with less stress and overwhelm. Let's get started.
What are your best strategies for creating a powerful brand experience? I'd like to take this moment to congratulate you, my Internet Explorer friend, for having been with us for all the past 3 seasons, as this episode is the first episode of season number 4. So in case this is the first time you're tuning in, my name is Prosper Taravinga, and I'm the founder and CEO of Live Long Digital, where we help small to medium businesses grow, especially using digital marketing strategies. And, with this podcast, we've been showing up nearly every single day. We've got 150 episodes below, and they talk about topics that are quite relevant in order for you to generate leads, in order for you to grow your business, identify the market, clarify your message. And we also help you determine what media is best suited for you to reach out to that audience. And pretty much once that's in place, we actually then help you turn those prospects into leads who buy from you, and help you create or duplicate whatever strategies are already out there that are suited to your business, because we understand that there's no one size fits all, especially when it comes to marketing. So we'll help you create maybe a lead capturing funnel, nurturing system, so that you don't have to constantly be present, but you can leverage the leads that you get onto your website and turn those people into happy clients that pay, stay, and refer. And all of this is done with automation, independent of you, the business owner, or you, my Internet Explorer, in a systemized format with predictable results. And once that's in play, we help you deliver a world-class experience so that your clients will, like I said, pay, stay, and refer, and you can actually start generating income that will help you expand more of what it is that you're doing right now. Okay, so talking about experience, this is something that has been happening lately, especially within the online space, and it's all to do with what's called a brand experience. Okay, so I can imagine you would only assign branding to your logo, to the way your website looks, or the way your podcast sounds. But have you actually put a bit of thought as to how people perceive you, how they see you, how they come to hear about you, and how they then engage with your business in order for them to be converted into paying customers? So that's what we're going to be looking at in this episode today, which marks the first episode of a season 4. We've come a long way, my Internet Explorer, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys for sticking around. And also, I appreciate the team behind the scenes that is actually making this brand experience for you real. This is the Online Prosperity Experience, where you get to experience how to actually create a business that's profitable and enjoyable. And we're going to be talking about the best strategies that you can emulate within your business in order to create a powerful brand experience. So, as a coach, consultant, or small to medium business, your role is to help your customers make sense of the world around them so that they can have a happier existence. There's nothing more to that. But in order for people to know you, like you, and trust you, they have to at least have some sort of knowledge of your existence. And how do you make that happen? That now depends on the platform that you've created for yourself in order for you to disseminate either your consultation, your training, your information, your expertise, or if you are a paid speaking professional, you need to get people to experience you in a way that differentiates you from any other person who can do the same things in your industry. So on your platform, people should be able to hear you, people should be able to see you, people should be able to read about you, and people should be able to experience you. And how do you do this now in a way that makes sure that you're not burning out in order for you to create for and relate to the audience that you're going to be demanding money off of? I can imagine you're trying to grow your business right now, and growing your business is one of the toughest things out there. You know why? Because not a lot of people can do it. And every stage that you go to, there's, taxes, there's reviews, there's a whole lot of things that could actually wipe whatever success you've had and, bring you down. If you don't have the proper knowledge, the proper, information backing you, my friend, this will be one of the hardest things that you might have to experience. So that's the reason why I show up every single day, for the past 3 seasons. And now we're going into season number 4, just to be that person that urges you on in order for you to create a business that's profitable and enjoyable. So you might be out there cold calling potential clients and maybe having them hang up in your face. It's not their fault. They probably haven't heard about you. They probably haven't seen you before. They probably haven't experienced you. And we're going to be talking about how to inject brand experience in everything that you do from start to finish. All right. You're probably also sending out hundreds of emails without even getting as much as, hey, thank you so much for reaching out. Even though you've got the best whiz bang website out there, you've got the best sounding podcast, but in order for you to create, an audience that is going to be, following you through and through, you need to engage those people. You need to educate them and inspire them to want more, be more, and have more while providing value, because we do get paid in direct proportion to the value that we bring to the marketplace. So if you haven't positioned yourself, you're probably just wasting thousands of dollars on ad spend without generating any qualified leads. And I know sometimes it can feel like no one wants to buy what it is that you're selling. And when you actually are relying on your business to pay rent and put food on the table, man, it can put an enormous strain on your emotions, where you are actually terrified to have to give up on your dreams and then maybe return to a safe 9-to-5 job with your tail tucked between your legs because you can't bring in new clients. Now, what is this that actually then brings clients to you? It's not like you've got milkshakes that brings all the boys and the yard. It's the brand experience. So let me just explain what this is, so that you have an understanding, and then I'll take you off the hook, because maybe you had not actually gone in depth to actually understand what is that missing link, because you might have all these components. You might have a well-to-do brand. You might be out there justifying your clients' failures. You might be encouraging their dreams and confirming their suspicions, and you're out there serving a lot of people, but there's a disconnect when it then comes to people actually buying from you and then creating that perpetual revenue that makes your business profitable and enjoyable. So brand experience, my Internet Explorer, and that's the name we give ourselves anyway. Everybody who is tuned in and a supporter of the online prosperity experience, which I encourage you to subscribe, just so you don't miss out on any of these valuable nuggets that just come through every single day, either on Spotify, Apple, or Amazon, or anywhere where you find your podcast. All right, so before we waste a whole lot of time introducing season 4, which I'm really excited about, let's talk about what you came here for. What is brand experience? Now, brand experience is that lasting impression, customers have of your brand. Okay, remember, people have a 3-second attention span. How are you going to attract, retain, and actually keep those customers? It's through the experience that they have at every step of the way that they are engaging with your business. All right, so this includes the thoughts that they have about your brand. What are the things that they think of or associate your brand with? The feelings that they have when they see your brand. Do they feel excited? Do they feel motivated? Do they feel like, what? Yet another podcast? Or are they excited and can't wait, to start writing notes or stop whatever they're doing, closing their door so that they don't miss anything from the online prosperity experience? And what are the perceptions that they actually have, and maybe the reactions to everything from your direct marketing to any efforts that you might have, your email campaigns, your content, your videos, your podcast, anything that you're putting out there, your social media presence, just about anything. All right, so brand experience describes that tangible and emotional experience that customers have while they're interacting with your brand. So just think of it as a holistic approach that combines elements of user experience, customer experience, and the actual brand identity. So this brand experience encompasses all the feelings that your customers have before and after interacting with your brand. So start thinking about what is it that people are going through in life right now that will give them that big relief, that will give them that amazing, wow, where have you been all my life, referring to your brand. All right, so this is how I normally explain this, and I'm when I'm trying to get people to understand what an experience is. Take yourself, or picture in your mind that you've been walking in a desert. All right, desert is very, very hot, and you've been probably walking for hours and hours and hours, and you haven't even seen any sign of water, and that's a desert for you. You know what I mean? It's designed to not have any water close by. But I don't know if you've seen in the movies or if you've actually seen it in real life. It's called a mirage, where you see at the edge of the horizon, it's like water on the surface of the earth, and then you just start following that mirage. And you walk for maybe 4 or 5 hours, and then voila, you come across an oasis. Now, on this oasis, everything is green, it's lush, and there's a bit of a waterfall on there, and you're like, oh my God, because you've been walking, you're dehydrated, you are obviously past hungry, and you could literally eat one of your limbs if you're given an option. And you've, at some point during the time that you were walking in the desert, you've actually drank your own urine, and that's how tough it has been for you. And then you come across this oasis where there's a white tent, and inside of it, there's a guy who's sitting in there with an aircon, and he welcomes you with a wet towel, and then he gives you the most comfortable seat you've ever had. Remember, your feet are weary and they're probably blistered, and you can't you can't stand on them any longer without them bleeding just by themselves because of the heat that has been penetrating through your shoes. All right, so you sit there in that comfiest, let's call it a beanbag. You sit in that comfiest beanbag, and you sink in, and you're sinking in while you've got that towel in front of you, and he offers you an ice cold orange juice that's got sweat beads on the outside, and then you start drinking it. Imagine how it feels on your neck and all the way down. You can literally feel it all the way in, and then you literally have like a brain freeze just simply based on how cold that drink is. And you're sitting in there, and the aircon is heating you, and then you're given a fresh pair of clothes to change into, and then you just sit back, and then he offers you to watch your favorite show that you're watching currently on Netflix, and then you start laughing, and you forget about the 24 hours that you've been toiling in the desert. Okay, now picture that scenario and put it in front of your audience, your clients, or your customers. They are outside there in a desert of mediocrity. They are in a desert of, things not working, family problems. They're in a desert of businesses not producing a profit. They're in a desert of, whatever problem that you fix. And when they show up on your website, when they listen to your podcast, when they watch your video, that now becomes the oasis. That now becomes the brand experience. Can you imagine taking somebody's load off from wherever they came from, and then you give them the most nourishing food, the most sumptuous drink, the most comfortable chair for them to just sit down and relax and rest and recuperate. And if they decide, maybe that's not for them, then they can be on their way. But then they're gonna be out there with all the elements in the bush. Okay, I might not be a good storyteller, but I just wanted you to have that scenario of your customers are coming from places where it's hell outside, and your spot, your business, your product, your consulting, your everything that you have created should give them that experience of, oh my God, this is the best thing ever. And that's a powerful brand experience. And that doesn't come easy. My Internet Explorer friend, you have to create that. You have to bake that within your business so that when people then go from your oasis and go to other areas or other lands, they will keep talking about the experience that they had and how you saved them from the valley of the shadow of death. Okay, so a customer experience with your brand determines, the actions that they're gonna take, whether they'll become purchasers, maybe people that are loyal, or an actual lost sale. We're spending thousands and thousands of dollars, more than we care to admit, and hours and hours and hours trying to bring people to our websites. Yet we then skimp on the experience that they should experience with us to show them that they have arrived. Okay, if you really take note of what I just mentioned and how I've just said it, if people are coming from all over the world looking for services, looking for people to help them with their bleeding neck, and then you are the doctor that stitches them up, and then they're on their way, they will live to tell that story. And it's super easy. All right, you got to have the mindset to be abundant and giving, and also the heart set to be empathetic to the people that you're going to be serving. And once you do that, you show them respect and you give them a really good experience, they'll either come back for more, not by themselves, but they will bring luggage. And that luggage usually turns into referrals. It usually turns into advocacy, and that's more money for you without you having to spend thousands and thousands of dollars on ad spend and not getting any return. All right. So if you create and bake that experience within your business, you, my friend, will have a business that's profitable and enjoyable. And a superior brand experience from start to finish is essential these days, and especially when it comes to accelerating the growth of your own brand. You know why? Because any person with a pair of sweatpants and a t-shirt and a laptop can literally do what it is that you do right now, and they can do it cheaper, better, faster, even though they don't quite care about the experience the customer will have. Now, how are you going to set yourself apart from any other Me Too person out there that doesn't have exposure to the online prosperity experience or has not baked an experience within your business? So I want you to start thinking about the things that you are doing within your business right now, and ask yourself a question. Would you buy from you again if you you called and then the person who answered the phone was you and in the mood that you were in? Would you buy, from the e-commerce website that you have right now? Would you listen to your own motivation? Would you listen to your own value that you're putting out there? Would you read your own blog if you were your own customer? All right. So all of those things should now start, really influencing how you present your work out there. Okay. So we've explained what brand experience it is, but I think maybe we need to maybe touch up on this again, because some things seem very simple, but if you hear it again, so there's power in reputation. So in general terms, brand experience is that overall impression that your audience receives when they're interacting with your brand. Okay, so the way your brand looks, smells, sounds, tastes, feels, it plays a role in each interaction and every experience that any person who's meeting you for the first time gets to experience your place. There's a hotel here in Melbourne called Crown Casino. Maybe you haven't noticed, but if you live in Melbourne, all right, I want you to confirm with this and then help the other people that are not in here. Or wherever you are, they're usually hotels, and hotels have a distinct scent that they pump through their air vents, just so it reminds you of whatever experience you had the last time you were not here. Or if it's the first time you're there, you now anchor that place based on that particular smell. Okay, so try and look at different buildings that you go into. There's just something about the building that anchors you, to that particular building, and it enhances the experience that you have because you're actually smelling, that the experience that you are going through while you're going through the hallways of that building. But if you're operating from an online space, you don't have the luxury of getting people to smell your website, but it's just how the user experience. Okay, so let's take an example. A lot of people are approaching the internet using mobile phones. What's the mobile experience that they are receiving? Is it easy for them to press buttons? Is it easy for them to navigate and find stuff? Is it just super easy for them to find whatever it is that they're searching for? Because people come to the internet to get information. And if they're getting that information from your brand, then obviously then they get to know you, like you, and trust you. And people like doing business with those they know, like, and trust. And how is that experience from start to finish so that they get the stuff that they came for? So whether your audience is interacting with your brand on the web or in person, there has to be an extraordinary something that they can't put their finger on, but something that is distinct about the experience that they have with your brand. So every customer touch point is an opportunity for you to create a more meaningful and authentic, consistent brand experience. And only you can create this, because no two minds can operate the same. No two people can think the same. Have you ever wondered, or have you ever heard people say, wait a minute, you are going through the toughest time in your relationship. Why are you still with this guy? You never know what experience that person is having with their partner, even though the physical or the visual aspects look like they're being abused, but you never know what happens when they're alone, where there's the public eye. All right, so you want to create that experience, and not try and emulate and copy what other people are putting out there, especially your competitors, because you can always be beaten on price. You can always copy your competitors' websites. You can always copy, maybe the facade of how they put, their customers through their shop or anything of that sort. But there's an experience. There's usually maybe an old lady who's always answering the calls and is funny, or is a comedian, and just creates a very good atmosphere for the customers. And that's the reason why they stay with them. And you keep getting puzzled as to why customers are going to that place when you are cheaper, when you provide a faster service. It's the experience, okay? So whether you're looking to increase your brand awareness or maybe perceived value, or you need to increase sales or customer loyalty, it all comes down to creating an effective brand experience for your customers. All right, so maybe you might be asking, whoa, wait a minute, Prosper, we only have 6 minutes and you haven't even told us how to create that powerful brand experience. I can't tell you how to create a powerful brand experience because I don't know what you're capable of. I don't know what you've got to offer. But the thing that I can tell you is, all right, know yourself, because the best brand experiences have a purpose. All right, why does your brand exist, and why do you sell the products or services that you do? And customers actually appreciate brands with a clear, defined purpose. So if you know what your purpose is, all you got to do is amplify that through the experience your customers are having at any interaction that they have with your business, and make sure that your purpose is endearing and is authentic, and you use it to inform your overall brand experience. Once you know who you are, you would know how you serve. Okay? And the one thing you got to do is always make a great first impression. You are only given one opportunity to make a first impression, all right? And your customer's initial impression of your brand actually plays a major role in the overall experience with your business, because people are not going to wait until you've figured it out, all right? You need to be sure that your customer's first impression is seamless, whether they're interacting with your brand or with you in person, or digitally, all right? If you have unexpected or surprising first impressions, it actually can create a positive association in the mind of your customers. Like I mentioned, how when you walk into certain hotels, they've got this particular scent that is particular to them, and you can't get that anywhere else. So you start associating all the good feelings that you have about that place simply based on the experience you're having coming through your nostrils. All right, so it will go a long way to create brand loyalty. The first cut is the deepest. All right, and the way you actually create a lasting impression is by effective storytelling. If you're listening to this podcast right from the start, I told you a story about how, I wanted you to imagine walking through a desert and then coming to an oasis that actually gives you all that you need, all right? So if you start creating and crafting stories, you paint pictures in people's heads. Right now, you're just listening from your ears, but when I took you on a journey, through the desert and everything else, you might have actually started limping because you felt the pain, of our character in that story. You know why that is? Because humans innately resonate with stories. Okay, there are a few more important and powerful things out there, but a great story actually takes the person on a journey with you, all right? So if you're keeping your brand experience aligned, with part of a larger and cohesive story that's obviously relatable, meaningful, and believable, your customers are more likely to recognize and understand the value of your brand. It doesn't necessarily mean you have to create characters within your brand or whatever it is. This is a story that we all know and we appreciate, and we know what it means and what it stands for. I'll just say what that story is, and then you will definitely know exactly what I'm talking about. Just do it. All right. And once you've done that, you automatically knew what I was talking about without even going further and telling you any more than you should know about doing it. All right. And once you've found your niche, you've found your target market, and you've clarified your message, you want to stay consistent, because people are not going to have time to let you figure it out while you're chopping and changing. They want an experience where they're going to, come from the desert and the oasis is still consistent, and then they can go and still come back and still find and get the same experience. That's why people don't question walking into McDonald's. They know what to expect, all right, because there is consistency in whatever way they deliver the product, okay? Because if you look at the most successful brands, they're instantly recognizable, whether you're in Africa, you're in Djibouti, or you're in Bujumbura, it still is the same Coca-Cola. So consistency is a cornerstone of your positive brand experience, because when people don't know what drink to have, I bet you a lot of people just pick up Coca-Cola just because they know it's been the same recipe ever since they were born. So consistency is a cornerstone of a positive brand experience, because if you're inconsistent, it feels disorganized and sloppy, and it creates confusion, and people don't want to support something that already looks confused. They are confused already themselves. All right. So when customers encounter consistency, a positive experience emanates from that. So you want to make sure that your brand experience is consistent throughout each and every touch point that your customer comes across your brand. So there you are. If you want to create a compelling brand experience, it becomes the easiest way to actually market yourself and generate customer loyalty and promote ongoing growth for your brand. Obviously, there's a lot of work, and I know a lot of people don't like tuning into radio, WORK, but hey, there's now more for you if you're willing to do the work. All right. So whether you're actively rebranding or you're looking to improve your brand experience across several touch points, it actually helps for you to have maybe a branding partner on your site. So say hello to Live Long Digital. We'll help you form a positive brand experience for every customer every time. I can't wait to go through your processes and see what you're creating for the people you're going to be demanding money from out there. Bye for now.
Thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, let's continue the conversation in the Live Long Digital community. Become a Live Long Digital community member today. This community is for ambitious entrepreneurs and small business owners with the drive to take control of the future of their businesses and achieve huge success without stress and overwhelm. As you heard, Prosper can help you by teaching you marketing strategies that work. So look no further than the Live Long Digital community of entrepreneurs and highly successful business owners. Join our community today. Find us on www.community.livelongdigital.com.au. Network with other driven entrepreneurs and find the expert guidance you need to take your business to the next level. www.community.livelongdigital.com.au